flower shape. For a leaf, make it pretty and beautiful and shiny. And this will go for flower petals when we get to them too. I'm going to push up a ledge. So when I push it up, and I'll do it here and here and then here, hard with the sugar thing. I pushed it up, hold it together up here and pull it wide. When I pull it wide, it gets really thin and it gets nice and shiny, and that's where I'm going to pull my leaf from. So by pulling it wide, it gets shiny at the very edge and nice and thin. Now I'm going to turn it around and ease a leaf out of there. So for each time I make a leaf, that's too cool. This is why it's nice for me to have a microwave right here, but you guys have to walk back and forth to the microwave. So a couple of suggestions. Don't take the smallest piece possible. Don't work with this much sugar. If you work with this much sugar, the minute you get it to be the right consistency, it's too cold. Your hands, although they feel like they're ripping hot when you're playing with sugar, body temperature is what, 98.6. This sugar is about 150, I would guess, give or take. So that's a 50-degree differential between your hands and the sugar. The more you touch it, the colder it gets. The colder it gets, the less likely you can do what you need to do with it. So you want to touch it as little as possible. And you need to work with something bigger than something tiny. Otherwise, heat it up in the microwave, you get back to here. By the time you get back to here, you realize, oh, it's too hard now. So you walk back to the microwave, you heat it back up again, you walk back to here. So you get a lot of exercise, but you don't really get anything out of your sugar. So a little bit more sugar, and sugar's cheap. You have lots of it. There's 19 batches of sugar being cooked in this block. So you'll end up with a lot. So for each leaf, make it shiny. Push up your ledge. When you pull it wide, pull just the edge wide. The edge gets thin, and then you're going to turn it around and pull your leaf from there. So you guys see, pardon me, sugar. Without going around this one. Push up your ledge. You get it stiff. Hard. Hold it steady up here at the top, and pull it wide. And when you pull the edge wide, it gets thin and nice and shiny. And then we're going to pull from there. For your flower petals, for the leaf, it's the bottom of the leaf. For your flower petals, it's the top of your flower petal. The pulling is essentially the same. Let's see. But it's a different use, ultimately. To make the shape of to make the veins of the leaf, we're going to use silicone. This is stiff silicone. I'll pass it around after I make a couple of leaves, otherwise I have to wait for you guys all to poke at it and look at it before I can make a leaf. We've gone to cheaper gloves, so I always blow through my thumbs. But if I take them off to put on another glove, my hands are all sweaty and I can't get my gloves on. We'll go double duty. Each time you heat it up, you need to make sure that you're adjusting the temperature. So again, it's too soft, too gooey, right? Silly putty, chewing gum. Just remember, hot it's burning your fingers. Hot it's not so shiny. Hot it's not so pretty. So by folding it on itself, it's cooling it off. Always fold the cold part of it's against the table in. And I can do this forever and ever and ever without hurting the sugar. Let's make it nice and shiny. So a nice shiny spot. Put it down on your box or on your on the floor. Push up that ledge. Still a little bit too soft. Pull it wide. And I turn it around and pull from here. Gently ease the sugar out of itself. And it would be nice if I could do it without my hands, but I cannot. Got it into a shape. And as I say, it's too soft, so it's not going to be quite as pretty or quite as shiny as the next one. Lay it onto your press, and I take this patty part of my hand and I push on it. And I'm pressing pretty hard. I want to take on the shape and the design and make it into a shape. Now, it's not as shiny as it's going to be because the sugar is too warm, and it's a little bit thick in the middle, so you can see these grooves go kind of in deep. You want the sugar to be a little bit cooler, a little bit harder. It'll make it a little bit shinier. The grooves won't be quite so deep. Fun stuff. it's so pretty. This is gonna be better. It's a little bit shinier to begin with. Holding it shine, it's a little bit better. It's also a little bit stiffer, so I have to work harder. Again, push up a ledge, that's a space. Hold up here at the